Let's take a look at a comparison of wage increases by occupation in the last decade in Ontario. Spoiler alert, you're not going to be surprised with the results. So in this graph, the blue bars represent inflation, the red line is the OPP, the yellow line is firefighters, the green line is backbench MPPs, the orange line is teachers, and the light blue line is nurses. And already just looking at this, we can kind of tell what's going on. In the last decade, teachers' salaries have increased at less than half of the rate of inflation. And just as a reminder, since I graduated from high school, the average teacher's salary has dropped by over 18% in terms of its buying power compared to inflation. That's not even including this year's inflation. Nurses weren't doing too well compared to inflation, but since Doug Ford took office in 2018, they've been doing considerably worse. Most notably with 2022 completely eroding their buying power. 2023 will most likely be just as bad. MPPs, on the other hand, maintained with inflation all the way up until 2021 and only dipped below it in 2022. Firefighters always being completely above inflation, only having met inflation with the 2022 inflationary increase. But cops are doing great. They were doing amazing before inflation, still making more money after the inflation. Now Doug Ford is paying for them to go to school, so it's going to be even cheaper to become a cop. Meanwhile, we don't pay for nurses to go to school, even though we have a massive nursing shortage in Ontario. Because Doug Ford will never privatize policing, but he will privatize healthcare and education. So when people tell you that teachers are overpaid or they get paid too much, just remind them, our wages have increased by less than half of inflation over the last 10 years. Our buying power has been eroded for almost 2 decades. We're not asking for more. We're just asking to not have less.